So this image that you're looking at on your screen right now, it's a very gory image, A man, covered with blood. There are people around him. Now, this is an image that is not, very uncommon in India. People in India do get mob lynched. Somebody's committed a crime. Let's say, people catch a thief. There have been instances where the person has been mob lynched and he has died. In this case also, this man is dead today, but not because he had committed a crime, because he was the victim of a WhatsApp rumor. This WhatsApp rumor in the state of Jharkhand said that people going through a specific region in Jharkhand, one rural region in Jharkhand, they're going to abduct your children, And your mamas, masis, your chacha, etc., they all started forwarding this WhatsApp rumor. It was in Hindi. And it generated a fear psychosis among the people, the people in that area. And they got together and they started killing people. They killed 7 people. The people you see on your screen, the people who are standing around this man, they are not criminals. Neither is this man criminal. 7 such people were killed. 20 people have a murder charge on them. So a single WhatsApp rumor has ruined the lives of 27 people. Fake news has truly arrived in India where it is starting to kill people. So why is that, fake news has become such a big issue in the last 2 years? It has indeed started affecting a lot of us. And one of the main reasons is the cheap availability of mobile data. Ever since the arrival of Jio, and even slightly before that, there's been a telecom war going on in our country. And now, while internet is a very empowering medium, it also has its pitfalls. So according to statistics, in the month of June 2016, India as a country was using 200 million Gbps of data per month. In the month of March 2017, we as a country are using 1.3 billion Gbps of data per month. So that is an unprecedented increase of 6.5 times. I don't think there are many other countries which have seen such a huge jump in mobile data internet. Another set of statistics says that, in 2016, there's a year-on-year statistics, the growth in urban mobile internet users is 7%, and the growth in rural internet users is 22%. Now, this 22% is a very, very important figure because there is a significant section in our country, in this 22%, who probably don't even know that there is a website like www.google.com. What we have done, internet, while it is a very empowering medium, what we have done is that we have given the power of information to a lot of people, but we have neither given them the tools or education to deal with this huge deluge of information that ends up in their WhatsApp inbox, on Facebook, and so on and so forth. Every single day, we look at horrible videos. Somebody's claiming Hindus are killing Muslims, another video is killing Muslims are killing Hindu. There are obviously, things about politicians, Rahul Gandhi did this, Modi did this, and things like that. A lot of, this is what has, completely flooded our social media profiles or WhatsApp, et cetera, et cetera. While, politics goes on in this country, people, politicians and the cadre will use whatever medium they get to forward their agenda, whether true or false. But when fake news starts killing people, that is when we as a country really need to step back, and think about it. Just in the recent past, for example, in West Bengal, a morphed image of an Islamic religious place was put out on Facebook by a young boy. I don't even think he has the capability to do that kind of photoshopping. But he put it out on Facebook, and the minority community in that area came out on the road, and there were riots. I think one person was killed, a lot of property was damaged. We already spoke about Jharkhand, where 7 people were killed. Back in 2013 in Muzaffarnagar, a video from Pakistan was played, and it was already a very tense situation. There was tension between various communities, and then boom comes a video from Pakistan, and then there are riots. This is one of the main subjective factors which led to the riots and which eventually killed 72 people. So, that is the that is the problem that we are facing today. And so we need to ask ourselves, why are we falling for fake news? Why is that, we are so often found forwarding things which eventually turns out not to be true. So, one major theory that is propounded world over is that of confirmation bias. You believe in a certain religious ideology or you believe in a certain political ideology, and you get information which adheres to that ideology. Let's say if you're a Congress supporter, you see a video which is claiming something about PM Modi, you're going to forward it. If you're a BJP supporter, you get a video or a WhatsApp forward something about Rahul Gandhi, you're going to forward it. So you don't step back and question yourself. When it adheres to your ideology or when it adheres to your beliefs, you have this extra urge to forward it to people who, again, believe in that ideology, who will believe what you're forwarding. So, what that has done is that now we are flooded with a bunch of information, and people from all sides are falling for it. For example, this is an image which was forwarded by the BJP IT cell head, and it claims that Mr. Nehru is not a very nice man. Now, if you look at in the image, what you will see is Nehru hugging a woman, kissing a woman. That is not very good, apparently. But if you look closely, the top left image, it is Mr. Nehru is being pecked on the cheek by Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. That's his sister. On the rightmost image, again, it is Nehru hugging Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. That's again his sister. In the bottom right image, somebody is kissing Mr. Nehru, and that is niece kissing Mr. Nehru. So, when this tool, gets to people who want to abuse it, then they do abuse it. So that is when, you have to sort of think before you press the forward button. So this image, the one on the left is fairly frequent, but it is actually photoshopped, and it is Mr. Nehru with Mr. Gandhi. This image, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav had put out this image on his Twitter profile, and this was a rally in Gandhi Maidan in Patna, and he claimed that there was no place to even put a foot. But if you look closely, if you zoom in, and you will see that just the way you do hair transplant, they have even crowd transplanting. It is. So now this image, and again, this is not limited to one ideology, one political party. Everybody, once you give this tool to anybody, everybody is going to abuse it. And if you let people set the narrative using this tool, and if none of us, raise our voices against it, it'll continue. So this is from the other side, where, an image of Mr. Modi and Hafiz Saeed shaking hands is being circulated, and while there's another image of Mr. Rajnath Singh sitting on a sofa and somebody is touching his feet. A senior police officer apparently is touching his feet. The actual images are Mr. Nawaz Sharif shaking hands with Mr. Modi, and the one on the right is actually a still from a South Indian movie, which was taken, and and the face was photoshopped, and that the man became Mr. Rajnath Singh. So that is the issue before us. We are truly in the age of Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and all this fake news. But unfortunately for us, fake news is not limited to just social media. Fake news has even gone to mainstream media. With the increase in mobile internet data, there are more and more people reading news. Sorry, not fake news. There are more and more people reading news on internet. You're using your mobile devices to read news every day. So those who are producing this news, they are in a hurry to put out news, because for them this is business. Something sensational happens, and all of them together want to put out the news as soon as possible, because the faster they put out news, the more people come to their website, the more people click on the ads, the more revenue they get. So, there's an inherent conflict. There's an inherent conflict where, news media has to put out news as fast as possible, and they also have to fact check. And unfortunately, fact checking has gone out of the window. I'll give you an example. So here, when President Kovind became the president, it was claimed by various organizations. These are very prominent organizations. One of them also gave you the GPS chip in 2,000 rupee note. So they claim that one claimed that Mr. Kovind got 3 million followers in one day, another one claimed just a few minutes, another one claimed in an hour. But the actual fact was that Mr. Mukherjee already had those 3 million followers. The previous outgoing president already had those 3 million followers, and they were just transferred to the new president. So something as basic as this, how do you expect, TOI, Republic, and I just gave 3 examples. There were at least 10 organizations who put out the same news. So unfortunately, even mainstream media is falling for it, but that is not, that is more because of the business aspect of it. I have my grudges with the mainstream media, a lot of them, but I would still fall back on them for information. This is not to delegitimize mainstream media. It is not my motive to delegitimize mainstream media. But the fact is that there is fake news on social media. There is some amount of fake news even in mainstream media. And how is it affecting us? It is affecting our electoral choices. For example, recently, just Gujarat elections happened, and I happen to be from Ahmedabad, and there was a Photoshop poll going on which showed that Congress is getting more seats than BJP. This was from ABP News. And then ABP had to put out advisory saying that, no, this is a Photoshop poll. In our actual poll, the BJP is getting more seats than Congress. So what happens is polarization of opinions. You keep talking about this Hindu-Muslim issue. Hindu ne Muslim ko mara, Muslim ne Hindu ko mara. You keep getting these videos, and it creates a polarized society. And once you have a polarized society, then you put out that one piece of fake news, which will burst into an issue where people come out on the roads and start killing each other. So it becomes a law and order problem. And eventually, finally, when we come to mainstream media, if and when they don't stop putting out the amount of fake news that they are, it'll start affecting their credibility. So we'll be in a sort of a banana republic. We won't know who to believe. So what is your responsibility? Now that we all agree that there is fake news out there, what is your responsibility? There is an entire industry out there which wants to abuse your emotions. They want to put forward such abhorrent, hatred-filled narratives which are completely fake, but they want to put forward that narrative because they want to touch your emotional chords. They want you to press that forward button on WhatsApp. They want you to press that forward button on WhatsApp. Don't do that. Don't do that. Wait for the next day's newspaper. Wait, it's a 16-page broadsheet. If somebody has been killed in your area, if somebody has been murdered, if somebody has been hit, or whatever be the case, there will be a small section in that newspaper which will tell you whether it has happened or not. So wait for the next day's newspaper, because if you don't, if you keep forwarding these things, we get to this situation. We get to this situation where a man, we have seen this picture multiple times on our televisions in the last few days, where this man has been, he hacked a man. But how did he get to that point? He got to that point, and BBC has done a story on this. He got to that point because, including him, many people in that area are being subjected to these hatred-filled videos, fake news, and things like that. So, let's not create more Shambhus, Let's not create more Shambhus because this is for the country. Let's not create more Shambhus. Thank you.